progress now in the fight for second position. Danish is stood up by Thompson, recovering that second place. So it didn't last long, him being pushed down the order, and Carter Thompson restores that P2. All the while, Veda Pratama has never been out of this race lead.
Yeah, 44.8 last time around for Pratama. It looks like that lead group, though, is bunching closer together. So let's see what the pace was that time around. 44.7, and a fastest lap further down the order from Udaki on the number 14 machine. He was about a half second faster than the race leader. So he's trying to close up on them. He's just trying to make a move into turn 1 now.
Good job then from Amon Odaki, the race 2 winner in Qatar. Disappointing recent run for him. He's only managed 14 points from the last 4 races and somewhat off the pace at the Thai Grand Prix. He's up inside the top 10 positions in race 1 of this Indonesian round. Lap number 5 then, and it is Veda Pratama who leads the way. Fractionally faster than Carter Thompson last time around, but gradually hotting up at the head of the field as well. New personal best lap set by both of those riders last time. Akhirnya only narrowly ahead of Shinya Ezawa, and then Fetasan Mie. Then a bit of a gap to Rizwanto as Thai riders show just how it's done, making your way into the tricky turn 10. And nobody really wanted to go side by side through there. They all settled into single file.
Yeah, no one except for Mie. He was able to make the move into the top 5 there, and on the number 5 machine. He's been the rider that's been able to make the good progress all the way through this group, and he's been the rider that's been able to make some moves. So keep an eye on the number 5.
There is your live championship standings. That's if the race were to finish as the standings are at present. It would lead us with a 6-point gap. Akhirnya 1 position now ahead of Ezawa on the circuit. Third place is obviously worth 16 championship points, 13 points available for 4th position. There's a lot of position changes between now and the end of the race, that's for sure, particularly with just over a second covering your lead sextet, as you can see.
Yeah, and obviously for all these ATC riders, one of the things that they're going to know coming into this race is 2/3 race distance, 16-lap race. So in the final third of the race, if there's any instance, that will be a race defining result. So all of these guys, when they've got to now start to edge themselves into the lead of this group, just in case anything happens later on.
Mia, the next rider, trying to make some progress. 1 minute 44.141, the new fastest lap of the race. The pace, as I've said, gradually improving with each passing lap.
Yeah, from God, we've been able to see a series of laps where he's been able to pull back 3 or 4 tenths per second on the riders around him. Last time around, he was 3 tenths per second faster than Ezawa in front of him. And for on that number 5 machine, he knows that if he's to have a chance of winning the ATC this year, he needs to clear Ezawa, because the top 3 are breaking away.
25 points, of course, is the magic margin as far as Mia is concerned. He needs the gap to be smaller than that at the end of this race. If he were to stay in 5th position with Akhirnya on the podium, that would leave him out of contention for the Asian talent couple. We would be down to the straightforward head-to-head between Danish and Ezawa that we were largely predicting for race 2 tomorrow afternoon. It is Pratama then who leads ahead of Carter Thompson. Akhirnya still sitting in 3rd, the top 3 as they were, remember, on the grid, but plenty of change further back down the order with Ezawa and Mie, the 2 main championship rivals to Akhirnya, in championship order at the moment. Linus 3rd to 5th.
Yeah, and for Ezawa, he needs to, well, he's done a good job at this lap to get himself back on terms with Akhirnya, but he needs to clear him as well. If there's an opportunity to pick up some points, he needs to do it now.
Mie still leading, Fetasan still with them as well in 6th place. That's the group with less than a second between them. Further back down the order, Odaki now is well back from Rizwanto, and he in turn has lost half a second from Fetasan. So it's turned into a 6-rider group at the head of the field. See if Rizwanto can try and make up any of that ground. At the moment, he's around about half a second a lap slower than the riders around him, and that's what's enabling them to break away. And then a separate 3-rider train now has appeared. Odaki, Wakamatsu and Nicholas well clear of Hafi, who's just got through on Fadilla for 11. So the field beginning to splinter now on lap 7.
Yeah, and in this lead group, Akhirnya on the number 13, our captain leader, he is the slowest rider in that group. So the other riders have been able to close up on the back of him, and certainly for Ezawa and Gunmia, they need to clear him now.
So we watch on lap number 7. It's Veda Pratama who leads the way, ever trying to open up that margin, but unable to do so. And of course, inevitably, the slipstream advantage, particularly down your start-finish straight, 723 metres, remember, allows everyone to come back onto his tail. But so far, haven't been able to really strike on Pratama to wrestle that race lead away from him.
He's impressive as well. He's keeping a very cool head here. He might be the youngest rider in the field, but he's already a race winner in ATC. And in this race, he's been doing a very good job just to make sure he's able to keep all this group behind him.
That's Veda Pratama, just 13 years of age. He'll be celebrating his 14th birthday later on this month. And it is the number 7 who holds things up at the top of the field. He's gone a little bit wide there. That's going to put him offline. This might be the best opportunity yet for Carter Thompson to make the move into the ever-tightening turns 15 and 16. Thompson on the number 6 bike there in second place. Has to hold station for the moment at least. Danish and Ezo are still right behind, as is Gunmie, the other of the championship contenders. Our 3 title contenders, first, second and third in the standings, are third, fourth and fifth in this race respectively.
They've made a little bit of a mistake in the middle part of this lap, and that's why he's lost a bit of ground to Ezoa. But Ezoa with a new fastest lap of the race as well on the number 24 machine, so that's also what's caused that to stretch out. But Gunmie has given up 7/10 of a second now, and it looks like he's given up another position as well behind them.
Better Sam then coming through on the number 20 bike. We'll see them side by side as they make their way off turn number 1 and in towards turn 2. It's Ezoa making up the ground. He has been released from Mie and Fetasan, and those two, the 20 and the 5, rather need to work together now. 8/10 of a second that gap. And that's the kind of margin where they can begin to break away. We could be looking at a 4-rider group now to contest those 3 podium places.
It does look like we're moving into that territory there, which also leads to a 2-rider group for the championship standings as well, because for Gunmie, he needs to win this race to really have a chance of staying in title protection.
This could be that lap 7 of race 1 is determinant in terms of his hopes for the championship, as Ezoa makes a lunge down the inside in towards turn 10 and will go from 4th to 2nd if he could get it stopped. The other riders are going to have the momentum coming off the turn. Carter Thompson comes back at him and pulls alongside to recover 2nd place. Still good enough for Ezoa to move from 4th to 3rd and in front of Hakim Danish. And if things were to stay as they are at present, the two would be tied on points with a single race remaining.
Of course, Hakim with 4 race wins already this season. He'd have the count back, but we still have 1 more race remaining in this as well. And you can see for Hakim Danish on the number 13, he's going to just try to make sure he's able to settle into this group. He knows that there's only going to be this 4-rider group fighting it out for the race win right now.
In terms of those race victories, the only way that Shinya Ezoa could manage to finish this season on 4 is if he wins both of the 2 remaining races. Thompson running wide there through turn 16, manages to gather it up, rather blocks the path of Shinya Ezoa, and that allows Hakim Danish to come back through for 3rd position. New personal best lap on lap 8 from Veda Pratama, 1 minute 43.7. The other riders in that leading group in the low 1 minute 44s, and that's allowed Pratama to break away 8/10 of a second clear up at the head of the field. Is getting scrappy in 2nd, 3rd and 4th positions, and Pratama's fully capitalising.
Yeah, from Pratama, he's already a race winner at Bury Ram this season. He's now got a 2nd in hand over the rest of the field. That can be all the difference that he needs, and certainly if you see Thompson, Danish and Ezoa continue to scrap with each other, all that's going to mean is that Pratama's going to be able to run away into the distance.
We're looking at the home rider as well, Veda Pratama, who missed the 2 races earlier on in the season, suffered a crash in qualifying, didn't make the same mistake earlier on today. He was able to qualify in P1, and he is leading in P1 on lap 9 of 16. More than half race distance completed. It's Pratama in front, Danish coming back through there on Carter Thompson for 2nd place. That's Shinya Ezoa in 4th position, and a couple of quick position changes, and that live championship we were talking about just a moment ago has turned on its head, and there'd be a 10-point gap between the 2 of them now if things were to stay as they are.
Yeah, I think we can rest our mental arithmetic for a while at this stage, but certainly for the championship contenders, they know what the scrap is. It's about beating each other whenever you're in the same group like this. Carter Thompson, though, he's doing well to keep himself at the front of this 3-rider group, but it is a case of they've given up too much time to Pratama now, so this is just a scrap for 2nd.
As you touched on previously, the good news for both Danish and Ezoa is that they're in the same group together, so there's not going to be major points lost or gained by either of them unless there is drama in the closing stages. But it's bad news, I'm afraid, for Gunmie, the number 5, relegated down to 6th position now by Amruz Wanto, and at 3.5 seconds down on the race leader, 2.5 seconds almost down on Carter Thompson in 2nd position, as Thompson's picked off by Hakim Danish back into turn 1 on lap number 10. Mie is now pretty much out of the running. He needs a series of misfortune for his 2 championship rivals ahead of him. Does look like we're going to be down to a 2-rider fight. Another new personal best lap on lap 9 from Veda Pratama, 1 minute 43.660. That gap's opened by another half a second. 1.4 seconds now. Veda Pratama looking in control.
Yeah, the race is run for Pratama unless he makes mistakes, but that can obviously happen as well. A track like this, it's such a narrow line that all it takes is to make a mistake into one corner, and that can be catastrophic for you. As you can see, though, for Hakim Danish, He's under attack once again from Carter Thompson.
Free rest once again as they go through turn 10. Unlucky not to collect one another. Ezawa on the inside, just backing out of it. Thompson holding station in third, and Akhirnya Indonesia in second. So it's a three-rider scrap here for P2. 1.6 seconds now down on the race leader. Pratama is away and gone, and these three scrapping with one another stops them from being able to run the optimum lines, and enables Pratama to escape them.
Yeah, they've now given up on Pratama. This is just a straight-up brawl to be able to come out with the 20 points per second fight. See Carter Thompson run on the run through to the tightening right hand, because he's going to get down the inside.
Thompson, of course, the spoiler in this three-rider group. The other two are our championship rivals as Akhirnya Indonesia gets slightly offline. Ezawa's going to be able to pick up the pieces and come through for third position. Carter Thompson was already trying to make his move for second. That's what Ezawa needs to do here to beat Akhirnya Indonesia and try and ensure that he goes into race 2 tomorrow afternoon at least level pegging, so that it really will be a straightforward championship scrap. As we come back in towards turn 1 on lap number 11, Ezawa goes for the outside, all the way around the outside of Carter Thompson, and Carter Thompson will now get the cut back in towards turn 2. We'll have the high ground on the inside, but just about covering the line. It is Shinya Ezawa who holds on.
Yeah, and the front field, Pratama with another personal best on this race, and he's within a few hundredths of a second of the fastest lap of the race. So really impressive performance by him. He's opening up that 3-second lead, which you can see from Ezawa on the number 21 machine. He's just trying to make sure that he's able to hold on to the 20 points per second. We're coming close towards that final third of the race.
We could be looking at a day of home success for Indonesian riders at the Indonesian round, with Veda Pratama having already claimed the pole and looking good for a race victory. Right behind him, Carter Thompson back in front of Ezawa and Danish. Worth mentioning the fight further back down the order as Rizwanto has now come through for 5th position. Still scrapping with Gunmie, and Rizwanto, who's the closest we've really got to a local rider, born on the island of Sulawesi to the northeast of Lombok. 16-year-old Indonesian, managed his first top 10 finish at his home Grand Prix back in March, but in line to pick up his best finish yet if he can hold on ahead of Gunmie in P5. So credit to the Indonesians, they're doing well in their home round in 1st and 5th places here. Ezawa going to the inside of Thompson, recovers 2nd place.
You can see for Thompson, though, he's going to have that drive to be able to keep that number 6 out in front. He's had a pretty solid season in Europe as well, a lot of top 10 finishes in the European Talent Cup, so it's been a busy year for him, and one of those riders that's been double duty in Europe and the Asian Talent Cup.
Danish now comes through on Ezawa, and this is crucial in terms of the championship. Fastest lap of the race so far, set by Ezawa on lap number 7, but he's had his hands full with his title rival since then. Catch a flash of Veda Pratama, but he is now 3 seconds clear, so he's out of the race, realistically speaking. This is just for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, as we see Thompson still leading Danish and Ezawa. Fetasan now coming through on Rizwanto, and so Rizwanto, just a couple of moments ago, was saying looking good for his best result yet in P5, suddenly finds himself in 7th position. That's another 3-rider group further back.
Yeah, that can just as easily change as the 3-rider group for 2nd, 3rd and 4th as well, but at the front of the field, Pratama opening up that healthy gap. It is still Carter Thompson up there in 2nd spot, but look at Ezawa on the run down in towards turn 10. This is where he's made quite a few double moves this weekend.
This 4th to 2nd once again for Ezawa. See what he does when he runs out onto the curve. The impetus with Carter Thompson as they make their way through 11 and 12. Pratama already exiting 12 before they're out of 11. That's the advantage that our current race leader has now.
Yeah, the same situation there from Ezawa as what we saw a few laps ago, whenever he was able to make the 2-for-1 move on the entry to the corner, gives up a spot, but you've still picked off your main championship rival, so all good for Ezawa, who's now managed to get through once again.
Here is your secondary group. We have got Fetasan, who sits in 5th position for the moment. Gunmie tucked in right with him on the number 5. And Rizwanto I was talking about just a couple of moments ago, the home rider, certainly proving that he has made steps forward during this 2022 campaign, much closer to the front this time around than he was at the Indonesian Grand Prix earlier on in the season at 8th and the 12th place. And since his summer break, Rizwanto has put in a new personal best with 6th position in Thailand, trying to better that further still. Currently sits in, 5th position as he defends it from Gunmie going in towards turn 1 on lap 13. He's run wide. Mie comes through and Rizwanto passed as well. And actually, Fetasan might have cost himself quite a lot of time there. He's going to have to work hard to get back onto the tail of these two, or face being dropped by them for 5th and 6th position.
Yeah, the problem is once you run offline like that, you put a lot of dirt onto your tyres, and that costs you an awful lot more time as well.
Ezawa, Thompson and Danish still in that order. This works quite nicely as far as Shinya Ezawa is concerned. Rider currently second in the championship standings, who hopes to open up that margin over Hakim Danish, who's had 4 race victories so far in 2022. Oh, big moment there for Ezawa as they make their way under braking in towards turn 10. That's going to run him offline coming off turn 10 and in towards turn 11. He drops down to 4th position. Just as I was saying, he was looking good ahead of Hakim Danish. He had a big moment there going in towards turn 10.
Yeah, it's easy for it all to change so quickly. This is the move into turn 1 that we saw from Ezawa. And able to get that second spot as it is. He's given up those positions once again to Carter Thompson on the number 6 machine and our championship leader Hakim Danish on the number 13. That is Danish there, just trying to pick his way through this group as much as he can. And as it is right now, though, it is Carter Thompson that's at the front of this group. You have to say that Thompson's always found a way to get to the front of this group as well. It's been impressive.
Well, the other good thing from a neutral's perspective is that Danish and Ezawa are in the same group here. So each time they are trading places, it is genuinely going to have an impact on the championship standings.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see here for Danish, a good run on the entry to turn 1 down that straight. We'll see if he's in a position to be able to outbrake Carter Thompson. Looks like he's in front before the braking zone there, so able to use the slipstream nicely at this point. But 3 laps to go, there's still going to be a lot of chances for Thompson and for Ezawa to move their way up into second spot.
As the race leader escapes away, 4.8 seconds clear is Veda Pratama at the front of the field. Hakim Danish sitting in second place, our 4-time race winner in 2022. Carter Thompson, the Australian, in third. And Shinya Ezawa, Hakim Danish's main championship rival, currently in 4th position on the track. 3 seconds now the gap to Anris Wanto, with Gunmie and also Fetasan in a 3-rider group from 5th position down. But it's Danish versus Ezawa that's all important in terms of the championship, and they've got the run on him heading in towards turn 10. And I suspect that between now and the end of the race, we could have a little bit of contact as well.
Yeah, you're seeing there again that double move from Ezawa. Is Carter Thompson going to have to answer back? Not on this occasion. So for Thompson, it's going to be about building up towards turn 15, but we've still got 2.5 laps left in this race, so you don't want to show all your cards just yet, but certainly if you want to be in any position in this group, it is probably in that second spot.
Gunmie still fighting it out for 5th position further back as number 21 Ezawa gets moved aside off the racing line, over the curve and down from 2nd to 4th. Hakim Danish then recovering a provisional place on the podium as he looks to add to the 8 he already has on his account. This is 15th start in the Asia Talent Cup. Through the final sector then of lap 14, 2 to go after this one. Really is anyone's as far as 2nd and 3rd places are concerned.
Yeah, you can fancy place bets on it, but for Hakim Danish, he's got a good run down the start-finish straight, just like he did a lap ago.
Danish then on the number 13, our current championship leader, the 15-year-old Malaysian, trying to get to the front once again and extend his championship lead. He's got a fight between himself and Shinya Ezawa, who's currently 2nd in the standings, the 13-year-old from Japan, and not quite able to find his way back alongside. So Thompson, Danish and Ezawa in that order on the penultimate lap of this race. Pratama now 5.8 seconds clear ahead of the field. Gunmie 3.4 seconds behind them. And still with nothing to choose between him, Rizwanto and Fetasan further back. But the 2 championship hopefuls locked absolutely level, nose to tail, as they head through once again. Race leader making his way through the exit of turn 10. This is where much of the action has been in this race for 2nd position, and again, with each passing lap, they get closer to contact.
Yeah, and Ezawa was right on the limit that time around. That's why Danish has been able to pick off Carter Thompson and also Ezawa, just because they lost so much momentum there, with Ezawa a little bit loose on the entry to the corner, just trying to get that bike stopped.
Thompson gets around Danish now for 2nd position. Ezawa's been bumped back to 4th place. Every corner, one to the next, they're willing to trade places, but turn 10 in particular looks like it's going to be vital on the final lap.
Yeah, turn 10 for the number 21 of Ezawa, that's his key overtaking opportunity, and for Hakim Danish, it's the run down in towards turn 1. And that's where he's been able to use the slipstream down the start-finish straight. Carter Thompson, though, he's been able to make a lot of moves pretty much everywhere around this track. It's just about trying to stay in front of the riders behind him.
Into the final lap now for Veda Pratama, the pole sitter and race leader throughout. You don't always see that in the Asia Talent Cup. He's been able to break away 6.6 seconds clear. It's going to be a big winning margin. Drummers, by the looks of it, further down the order, and that will be right towards the back of the field. So that's Putra and Swain, I think, who were scrapping outside of point 16th and 17th places. They're going to be our first two retirements. It's not been generally a race of attrition in race one of this Indonesian round. It is Veda Pratama who leads us back into second place now. Akhirnya Indonesia, Ezawa relegated to fourth.
Yeah, Ezawa down into turn 10. That's where he's been able to make that double move on quite a few occasions. He's going to have the run down into 10 to make that once again. But is he going to be brave enough to try and pick off both riders? He knows that for his championship standings, he has to get through on Denisha, who's out in front of the sprint.
Elbows out, I'm sure, in towards turn 10. One of the best remaining overtaking opportunities. He tries to slot alongside Carter Thompson, but can't quite get there. Danish remains at the head of this three-rider group in pursuit of those podium places. Thompson's run wide and onto the green paint. That could be vital in the post-race analysis. Ezawa comes through on Thompson for third position. And now it's a head-to-head between the two championship rivals. Akhirnya Indonesia, our current series leader, sits up in second place. Shinya Ezawa, second in the standings, desperate to reverse what could be a major point swing here on the final lap. They make their way through the final sector. It's Danish defending the position. Ezawa though has the inside line. That's the place to be through these long right-handers, turns 15 and 16. Thompson trying to go the long way round. They're three abreast. Danish cuts back to the inside, catches Ezawa by surprise. Ezawa has to stand it up and back out of it. Big moments as he tries to get back on the racing line. The two championship rivals touch. Veda Pratama comes over the line to win his home round in Indonesia. Race one goes to Veda Pratama. Second over the line to Carter Thompson. And the two championship rivals cross absolutely level. But it's Akhirnya Indonesia who's given it on the timing ahead of Shinya Ezawa. And that will mean, barring any post-race penalties, potentially for Carter Thompson, as things stand at the moment, we're looking at a 6-point margin between Akhirnya Indonesia and Shinya Ezawa coming into race 2 tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, you wouldn't be too surprised if there is a penalty for Thompson for running out onto the green paint at the exit of turn 10, and that would only extend the lead for Akhirnya Indonesia by another point as well. So certainly for our race winner, though, Pratama, such an impressive performance. It was eventually an 8-second margin that he was able to take this win by.
And that's why I was talking about a potential major swing between Danish and Ezawa. Because if it had been the other way around and Ezawa moved up into second position and Danish in fourth, we'd be talking about a different championship leader going into race 2 tomorrow. The Indonesian fans celebrating with Veda Pratama, your race winner, and a good opportunity for the Indonesian flag to be shown as well.
It's quite the makeshift Indonesian flag there, I think, for the marshals, but
it's a good effort.
It's a solid effort from them, and really impressive from Pratama. We saw him win earlier in the season in Buriram, and he's been able to notch up now 5 podiums as well this season, 2 wins and 3 other podiums. And that's very impressive for the youngest rider in the field. It means that a lot of team managers are going to be keeping an eye on him as well, and certainly you'd be excited to see what his prospects will be like if and when he gets to race in Europe and the ETC as well.
Really unfortunate for Veda Pratama that we didn't get to see him complete the weekend of the Indonesian Grand Prix earlier on this season, because that's a 4th podium in 5 races for him, and you would suggest that if he had the points from round number 2, at very least he'd be in the top 3 now, if not potentially still a championship contender.
Yeah, exactly, and it's been such a solid season, but a lot of the times in the ATC it's all well and good to win the championship, and that's obviously the target for everyone, but so many times it's the riders that are 2nd, 3rd, 4th in the standings that actually go on to have a big impact as well. And this is about the high points that you have during the course of the season. How many wins do you have? Your wheel-to-wheel, bar-to-bar battles, how many of them do you win? And that's what a lot of people take notice of. And Pratama's been able to pick up 2 wins as a 13-year-old, and with the increasing age limits as well, that means that he's going to be on Talent Cup bikes for the next couple of seasons. So that's where he then needs to keep building that forward.
Rizwanto eventually coming home in 6th position. Gunmir getting through to the front of that secondary group ahead of Fetasan in 7th. But that's not enough for Gunmir to keep his championship hopes alive. He drops 40 points back now from Akhirnya Indonesia. Needed to beat Danish in that race, of course, and narrow the gap to less than 25. So at 40 points, Gunmir is now out of the running. He's got to defend 3rd overall tomorrow against today's race winner, Veda Pratama, who's now closed that gap to just 11 points between 3rd and 4th in the standings, close from 5th position down as well. But in terms of that championship duel, pending official confirmation, as things stand, we will be looking at a 6-point margin in favour of Akhirnya Indonesia ahead of Akhirnya Indonesia.
Yeah, and you can see for Carter Thompson making his way into Park Ferme in second spot, so we'll wait and get official confirmation, like you said, Alex, but maybe the decision will be that he lost ground coming out of turn 10 and then was able to recover from that, and he'll be able to hold on to that second spot and those all-important 20 points for him. He's moved up to 5th in the championship standings. For Pratama as well, though, he's in a bit of a battle now for 3rd in the standings with Gunmia as well.
Yes, Gunmia on 127 points, and Veda Pratama now on 116 after his race victory. The problem for Gunmia this season has been the lack of race wins. He's had plenty of podiums during his Asia Talent Cup spell, and no shortage of podiums in recent rounds either. 2 in Thailand and 1 in race 1 in Sepang. And this weekend he misses out in 5th position in race 1. He'll be back to have another go for those podium places tomorrow afternoon. That's a race that could easily have turned out very differently, just the way the field fractured in those early laps.
Yeah, and that can happen around a track like this where the slipstream isn't as important as in some of the other tracks that we visit with the ATC calendar, and it's all about maintaining that momentum. That's what we saw Pratama able to do. He was always able to keep edging out that bit of a lead. Once he was able to open up a half a second, it became a second, and then 2 seconds very quickly, and then from that point on it ended up being an 8-second margin at the flag.
Yes, case in point being Sepang with those nice long straights and hairpins. That works nicely for a big group in the Asia Talent Cup, but here in Indonesia it's a tight and twisty circuit with some high-speed corner entries as well. Good that there's a variety of circuits for the riders to visit over the course of their season.
Yeah, exactly. At Sepang you've got 2 1-kilometre long straights, and here it's 500 metres for the start-finish straight basically, so it isn't about the slipstream battle, it's about your racecraft and being able to scrap with each other without costing yourself time. And the second group, they did cost themselves a lot of time in this race.
Oh, we're going to see the action in the closing stages, and this will be Carter Thompson running wide, perhaps.
Well, for Carter, because he's 4th coming into this, he hasn't gained an advantage from running off track limits earlier in the final lap, and then he's just in a position just to be able to take advantage of the other 2 riders having their mistakes as well, because they've ran in a bit too hot. For Akhirnya Indonesia, the number 13, he was very lucky to hold that one on, and that was the difference between finishing 3rd and picking up 13 points and picking it up off the deck.
And Ezawa even catching the protector in the rear of Dinish's bike as he tries to come across the line alongside him. I think he was trying to pick up the slipstream but also make the pass and sort of misjudged it in the run to line. It was messy in that second position scrap. That's why Veda Pratama was able to get away from them.
Yeah, and we did see that for quite a few laps at the end on the run down in towards turn 10, for instance, whenever you've got Ezawa making that double move and then everyone else having to shuffle for positions. It just did cost them quite a bit of time, but it's also about making sure that you're able to win those battles. Carter Thompson was able to come out on top in that scrap.
And Carter Thompson taking 2nd position ahead of Akhirnya Indonesia. And Danish with that 3rd place, able to extend his advantage, well, double his advantage from 3 points to 6. It's still a slender margin in Asia Talent Cup. We've seen it before. Big points can be won and lost in fairly straightforward fashion.
Yeah, exactly. And a 6-point advantage in the championship really is nothing. And you'd expect these guys to all be at the front in tomorrow's race. But Gunmia is going to be there as well. And a few other riders could well get themselves into the mix as well.
Well, a win for Akhirnya Indonesia does 5 of those 6 points. And then it's just about what happens behind him. So that will be the target, obviously, for race 2 tomorrow afternoon. Race where we got 18 riders over the line. So again, full credit to all of these youngsters over the course of this weekend. There's not been too many incidents, as we mentioned previously during that race. Just that late incident for Putra and Swain, who were the only 2 retirements, 18 across the line. So race 1 comes to its conclusion, and we have an opportunity to take a look at the podium. And in front of the spectators as well, with our paddock show in World SBK, as Akhirnya Indonesia will be back on the podium. It's going to be the 9th podium in the Asia Talent Cup for him. Carter Thompson taking 2nd position. Thompson only podium number 3 as far as he is concerned, but 3 of them in the last 4 races, so he's coming on strong in the closing stages of the season.
Yeah, and it was the same in the ETC as well for him in Europe. In the final rounds of the year, he was able to get himself up into the top 10 and finish that season quite strongly as well. So for Carter Thompson, there's a lot to look forward to, more than just tomorrow's final race of the season.
It'll be Veda Pratama who will be celebrating a 2nd race victory victory of the season. Only came into the championship as a wild card with 3 starts here in Indonesia at the end of last year. So it's a full calendar year now since he started in the Asia Talent Cup among the younger riders in the field, as we've said. So for him to come on as strongly as he has in the second half of this Asia Talent Cup, with the second places in Thailand and Malaysia, the race wins in Thailand and now here in Indonesia, Veda Pratama very much proving himself.
Yeah, he's really shown himself to be a rider worth keeping an eye on, and certainly he will be a rider that next season in the ATC, I think everyone's going to be keeping one eye on.
So our podium trio, Hakim Danish is first up, then Carter Thompson into second, and Veda Pratama certainly looks very happy with life, and all of the celebrations with the Indonesian flags and so on will have certainly contributed to that.
Yeah, why wouldn't he be happy with himself with that second race victory this season?
Well, it looks as though the home fans, are going to be able to celebrate with your race winner, Veda Pratama, in just a couple of moments' time. Hakim Danish is the first rider to receive the trophy on the podium.
Yeah, Carter Thompson will get his second place trophy, and then Pratama, our race winner, with such impressive style as well. And Thompson on that good run of form, another podium for him and moving up into 5th in the championship standings. But you have to say, on a day like this, it's all about the home hero Pratama able to claim his second win of the Asia Talent Cup season.
And it is Veda Pratama who is your race winner. The trophy about to be presented to him. Second race victory in 2022. And as I said, only a year since he made his debut here in Indonesia. A home round for him and redemption after his qualifying crash in round 2 of the season.